you. Thank you for recording, and thank you to Mr. Bay for kind invitation, and to Dan for also very kind introduction. So we will start, I think, with presentation. I'm sure now you can see my screen. So networking for everyone. Why I was called as an expert? Actually, that's not my opinion. People keep saying that I'm pretty good in connecting people with each other and in building my network. As I relocated to Denmark, as it has been said, in 2020, and already in 4 months, for example, I found a job and started to conduct different online events, as well as I'm extremely proud of, huge trade union in Denmark invited me as a public speaking trainer for one of their workshops. Also, I worked in sales for many years, as it has been said by our Toastmaster. I'm working as a public speaking trainer in different companies. You can see them here on slide. And also I'm a Kundalini yoga trainer. So that's now enough about me. I will share my own experience with you, how I built my network, particularly in Denmark, because I cannot share with you my all 11 years experience. We have only 40 minutes. You can understand this, I hope. But firstly, I would like to know a little bit about you. We have a Mentimeter here, and I think Florian will help me with the link in our chat, and we will see who are joining us today. Who are you? Maybe how do you help people? Let me check. Yeah, we have a link in the chat, and I will share with you our results while are you connecting. Yeah, I can see first responses. Let me share my screen with Mentimeter for you. Data analyst, Josh, I'm curious. I'm Baumik. What is this? Interesting. So who are you, or how do you help people? Diplomat, Peter, Brunella, Christine Campbell. Great. Maybe a little bit more about your profession. So what you are doing in your life, how can you support people, or what is your passion? The answer could be short, but you can, I think, type various answers, several answers from your own. And also, if it's more comfortable for you, you can share your answers in the chat. And this Mentimeter I used only because I would like to save your answers for the end of our workshop, for the final part. And I would like you to remember your answer now. And we will see how you will compare your answer now at the end of this meeting with maybe new answer. Yeah, integration lead, claims manager. Interesting. I can see some words. This is pretty interesting for me now, and I would like to connect with these people. We have a doctor also. All right, then. Thank you for your answers. You can still use the chat during the next 2 minutes. And let's come back to our presentation. So, about my experience, I will start with some questions. Are you sure you want to move abroad? You will be alone the whole day, nobody to talk with. All your friends and family will stay in Russia. Your husband will come back from work only the late evening. What will you do there? You don't have any connections, any job, any friends. These questions I asked to my close friends in 2018. She was about to marry her boyfriend and to relocate to Cyprus. And for her own reason, long story short, she didn't relocate. But I had to repeat my own questions to myself in 2020. when I planned my own relocation. And here you can see my network intensities working ups and downs. This will be like a scheme of not my way in Denmark, but my networking building intensity and my efforts in new network building in the new country. Of course, I had different situation than my friend that time. I had different networking experience. I was already experienced Toastmaster, and I just received my DTM, by the way, during my relocation. So I kind of prepared myself to this change. Some of you who has this experience of relocation, you can just put some smiles now, some reactions, in order I could see that you can understand how hard it will be. It could be, I'm sorry. For me, it was extremely important change, and it was a big challenge. And tonight, I would like to share my journey in a new country. So in December 2020, I relocated. And actually, it was the worst time to meet people. As you remember, Denmark had strict COVID restrictions that time. Everything was closed, restaurants, bars, events, conferences, nothing of that. We could only went small shopping and for a short walk in the forest. That's it. But I could choose any online activity I wanted. And you will see my successes and failures in this process. I started to look for new friends in different Facebook groups, and I was very attentive to these groups. For example, I became a member of the famous in Denmark group Power Woman. It's for Russian-speaking expats in Denmark. And I watched the different Leaves videos, and for example, I noticed one of the Leaf videos, which was dedicated to career in Denmark. And after that video, the Toastmaster who conducted this, it was actually the HR manager in Denmark, Russian speaking. She opened a new group with the name Career in Denmark. I noticed that this new group needed promotion, of course. And I proposed myself to conduct some live events about public speaking during the interview, how to prepare yourself to the interview, etc., etc. And of course, administrator has agreed with pleasure because she needs the group to be developed and fastly developed. So I conducted these live videos, and this was my first success. Maybe it was only in 3 months after I relocated. I already met several new people, and I received many useful connections. For example, HR managers there. So this was because of my initiative in the new Facebook groups. And still, this live video is very useful for people. I received some references for this 1-year-old live videos, and I can send it as it has been saved in these Facebook groups. And very soon in March, restrictions has gone, and I found a job in the robotic industry in Denmark. So naturally, I started to enlarge my network in LinkedIn too, as I worked in famous robotic company. And this, you can also take it as an advice already, but this is not my main point. But still, it's good to add people in LinkedIn and update your account there. So if you are not in this social media, I would recommend you to join LinkedIn. Also, I participate in several local meetings of Russian-speaking women. And you can see here the name of local event. It was not so successful. You can see small recession here. Why? Because when I came to the meeting, everybody started to introduce themselves like, my name is, for example, Olga, I am from Novosibirsk, or I'm from Ukraine, Belarus, no matter. And I live in Denmark for 20 years or for 1 year, and that's it. And when it came to me, my turn, I'm Irina, I'm a public speaking trainer, and I was so proud of myself, but nobody has demonstrated interest to this fact. I was a little surprised firstly, but afterwards I thought, this is just a party. People wanted to relax. Why I should present myself so professionally? And people just asked me where I'm from and how long do I live in Denmark already, and that's it. I didn't get any new customers there, but I met again wonderful people, and I met some new friends, and actually they helped me a lot. But I would not say this was a success in a networking, this particular event. Afterwards, in September, actually, I found again an announcement in our large Facebook group. You can see here, Power Woman event. Announcement about event which they planned. It was a party in actually my city named Donense, and they were looking for a Toastmaster of the evening. So I offered myself and demonstrated my experience as an event organizer. I didn't speak that time about public speaking. I spoke only about program creation, about my experience in organizing several parties for Toastmasters and for my business, for my ex-boss, for example. And it was successful. It was 85 people, and actually at this event, I already found my first customers. So I started to provide individual sessions. My customers were from different types of businesses with different needs and different purposes, of course. And you can see, again, small recession here. Because while working with them, I didn't pay so much attention to my promotional or to my network expanding. But I used word of mouth because people started to recommend my services to each other without my own efforts, actually. But I also tried a little bit to promote myself for different types of needs. How to prepare for the job interviews, how to prepare for events organizing with me, etc., etc. There were different publications, but they were not successful. Maybe right people who really needed in my services just didn't see my publications in time. So I didn't focus on the particular needs of my audience. Of course, I focused on them during individual sessions, but not during promotion, and I didn't take a part in any networking event. And this February, I eventually started to work with the largest trade union in Denmark named 3F, as you can see on the slide. And this is a kind of interesting story. I would say it's funny, some kind of. I was looking for the place to donate some cloths to Ukraine and find 3F organization. When I came here, just for donating my own cloths, I saw volunteers who were sorting things and toys, clothes for Ukrainian refugees, sorted and packed it. And immediately I have been asked for help from these volunteers. So I started to work as a volunteer too at 3F. Every day, several hours, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And I met again wonderful people, as well as volunteers and organizers. And when we had finally, in the 6 weeks after our thank you lunch, I introduced myself as a public speaking trainer because they asked me, what am I doing in my life? And they said, oh, we are conducting actually workshops and events from time to time, and we need the English speaking and Russian speaking trainer as well. So I became a part-time trainer at this trade union, and this I would consider my greatest success till then for the current moment. So 3F organizers has shown their interest to me after working for several weeks with me as a volunteer. So what is my point here? You can see my way is still going somewhere. I'm not sure what I will do next, but I will definitely concentrate on my audience's needs first. You can see that when I started with live videos, I was focused on the group promo, the group career in Denmark. So it was maybe the first lead videos which I did for this group, and it's still relevant, it's still popular, and I can build my own network through this group as a public speaking trainer. When I came to local event, people just wanted to relax. So I didn't build any connections there. Maybe I would, but it didn't happen because maybe I was not in the mood. I was concentrated only on go find new people, go for the customers, etc., etc. I do not remember particularly, but I'm sure it was my mistake. For the Power Woman event, firstly, I was concentrated on the program conducting. So I demonstrated myself as a person who can solve their problem, their actual problem, who can conduct this event and who can create an interesting program. And during individual sessions, I didn't focus on anything of my networking process. So it was various customers, various needs. And the 3F, again, firstly, I worked as a volunteer, sorted things, and only afterwards I presented myself as a public speaking trainer. And my first takeaway from this experience for you is concentrate on your audience's needs and adjust your presentation in accordance with them. Of course, if you are just a cosmetologist, you cannot, for example, offer anything else to your partner, to your networking partner, to the person you just met. But you can think firstly, will this person can afford your services, or will this person would be interested maybe in education or in working with you? It's pretty obvious, but sometimes we forget about that because we are too nervous. We are thinking about how I look like right now, what to say next, etc., etc. So we do not think what actually our partner wants. And I would like to focus on that. I would like you to focus on that first. So adjust your presentation. If this is a real case, I had a customer who is a cosmetologist, and she has a beauty salon, and also she has a school. And I asked her, what would you like to promote first for example, for a young lady who doesn't have so much money, the school or your beauty services, which are pretty expensive, by the way. And you can imagine in Denmark, it's extremely expensive. Of course, the school, because this will be an opportunity for a young woman to find a work, find a job or hobby, and receive some money, earn some money. And services would be promoted, would be presented only for example, for businesswoman who doesn't have so much time, but who has money. So adjust your presentation in accordance with your audience's needs. Of course, you should know the type of your audience in advance, and you can do it by asking questions. But regarding questions, we will talk a little bit later. And now I would like to remind you about self-presentation processes. Of course, you met some challenges. I would like you to type in the chat right now, which challenges have you met during self-presentation? These challenges also described very well in our very first projects of Toastmasters, Icebreaking Speech. And I would like to know about your experience. Forgetfulness, lack of interest. Interesting, from Florian. All right. While I'm still typing, I would like to share with you some of my students' answers. I have nothing interesting to talk about. This was an answer from my friend who actually is very interesting woman who dance challenge of explaining all I know about my research from Joshua. Interesting. Thank you. So this answer, I have nothing interesting to talk about. I received from a woman who dances flamenco, who is traveling a lot, who is almost professional in volleyball, and she has a lot of other interests. So I was really, really surprised to know that. But still, I'm not an expert, of course. And actually, I started my presentation with these particular words. Maybe I'm not an expert in networking, but people keep saying that I'm pretty good at that. A little excuse, maybe it was my mistake. And I can see your answer, Teresa, thank you. Also, not enough experience. Do not know how to start. I'm too shy, etc., etc. And in order to overcome your own objections, you can prepare yourself in advance. You can prepare your text in advance, your speech in advance. All of these advice, of course, I described in our project number 1 in Pathways, but they are working. If you didn't use some of these advices, I would like you to do it. You should repeat your speech. It would reduce your nervousness. You create your achievements list. You ask for references from friends, and you can ask questions also. And from your own challenges from the chat, I would recommend eye contact and notes, again, about preparing your text in advance in order you do not use notes. Challenges of explaining all I know, it's, I think it's about speech structure, Joshua. This is actually project number 2 or number 3. But still, self-presentation, again, should be prepared with the timer. So you can emphasize only key points of your presentation. Maintaining positive energy, then, I think this is about your achievement list and ask for references. You can concentrate on what you are doing well, on your achievements, on your value which you would give to your audience. And this can reduce your nervousness. Of course, my answers to your challenges now are very short, as I would like to concentrate on this part. Ask questions first. You remember I already noted that in order you could present yourself in the correct way, you should adjust your presentation for your particular audience right now, for your partner, for example. So ask some questions. Firstly, of course, it's not like, I'm John, and who are you? What are you doing? What is your plan? What is your desire? No, it's not. But naturally, natural interest, smooth conversation, and step by step, you will know better your partner, the person you just met. And this question could be, why are you here? What's interesting for you in this event? How do you like this workshop? Isn't it irritated? What do you think about Toastmaster of the Evening, for example? What about your holidays? By the way, have you been in Croatia? I'm planning to go in Croatia next month. Have you any recommendations for me? What can you recommend to visit if you have been there? Why do you like your job? It sounds interesting. What are your main challenges now? How do you overcome them? What are your plans for the future? And other questions which will be relevant. And natural interest to your partner's person will naturally raise his or her interest to you. So you will know each other better, and you will be able to adjust your information in order to provide the better services if you are not selling anything, or better help or better support to this person. This how I do it. As I said already, according to my experience, when I put myself at the first place, I failed. And when I thought firstly about my audience's, my partner's needs, I succeeded. I would like to ask Florian to copy these questions right now in the chat. And while Florian is doing it, I would like to offer you now to practice networking a little bit for 5 minutes in the breakout rooms, one by one, using these questions or your own questions. So the small task for you to present yourself to each other, ask some questions, try to find common interests of each other, and maybe additionally, and this is the final part, share context, share context and maybe arrange a meeting. It would not be about services, It can be about your mentee and mentor program or support with your next Toastmaster program project or something else. So, Teresa, you are unmuted. Any questions?
Oh, I was just going to ask you to put the previous slide up so I can see the questions, but I see you've put them in the chat, so it's okay.
Yeah. I will just come back for a minute. Yeah, these are the same questions which you can see in the chat. So I will stop share my screen right now, and we have our Sergeant Tatams who will open our breakout rooms for us. So Joshua, are you ready?
I am ready. But one question. We have 21 people on the audience, so we'll have one person that
I'm the one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll transfer it.
So small adjustment and breakout rooms, and we will have 5 minutes to introduce yourself to each other. You will Joshua, great. Will you also join any room?
No, I've put myself not to join any room. I will join Florence.
Okay. Thank you, by the way, for support.
Hi, Florence. It's me and you in the room.
Yes. So.
Okay. So questions. It's actually very nice questions that you put up there.
Yes, well, that's a good question. So why are you at this workshop, Josh?
Well, I enjoyed the last workshop, although I wasn't quite there in person, but I was listening to audio-wise. This was a question about evaluating and how it went, because evaluations has been something a bit daunting for me. But after going to that, so I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to evaluating more speeches because I can just write it out in my templates, open it. So
and why is this a skill that you're looking to become better at?
Well, networking is very important. I've recently sort of diverted from the technical side of things into more salesy side of things, and I realized being able to talk and communicate and network with people is quite important for them to know exactly what you do. Hence the reason why I've come for this workshop.
Excellent.
So is it my turn to ask you questions?
Yeah, yes, feel free to.
Okay, so have you gotten anything from the presentation I really made? Any new?
Yeah, I mean, I've made some notes already. I just, I kind of liked what she said about focusing on your audience needs, because it's kind of common sense, but it's something that even experienced Toastmasters like myself sometimes forget, because it becomes subconscious. Well, what I kind of inspired me as well is when she was mentioned she was volunteering for Ukrainian refugees, and I've seen pictures of Irina on her Facebook profile where she was doing some volunteering, and that kind of landed there some work in training. It's kind of inspiring because you don't actually realize the kind of opportunities that are out there, but that you can unlock by talking to people. So that actually is quite, it's quite inspiring, I think. Well, I'm finding it quite inspiring.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, when she mentioned about I believe moving to Denmark, and she's trying to tell about her accomplishments, but the audience there really quite wasn't about it. So
Yeah, because I know Irina quite well. I've known her for just over 3 years now, and yeah, what she's done in Denmark is pretty amazing so far, because it was a big move. It was a big move to join her when her husband lives in Denmark.
yes.
It's quite a big move, but she's done really, really well.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Another question I have for you is, what are your main challenges right now as part of networking, just in general?
I think for me, it's actually proactivity, doing more of it, seeking instead of seeking opportunities instead of just waiting. That I would say is the main challenge for me.
Okay. And do you have some ideas on how you can be able to improve that?
I think I perhaps should seek networking event. I should kind of touch base with people more. I think you gotta talk to. I think the gist of all of this is talking to people.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think our time is almost up. Put it 10 seconds to close the room automatically. So I'll move to the main stage. Thank you for that, Florian.
Yeah.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everyone is there. So I would like to ask you to share in the chat or by voices, what were your experiences? What were your impressions from this dialogue? Was it useful? How? Yeah, Adam? Yeah, I can see. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I see. I was indicating yellow, but I'm very happy to volunteer my experience. Me and Christine had wonderful starts to things. I mean, beyond establishing that I am not only based, in a part of the UK that her daughter is familiar with. We also found that we both got a shared passion for music, which very far removed, I think, from the day job. But I think we've managed to set the foundations for future exploration and future networking there. And again, Christine, just again for the sake of the public record, again, pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see your enthusiasm after this very small beta version of our online networking event. As Adam said, we don't have so much time. So I would like to, I'm sorry, what's this sound? All right. I would like to ask you to share shortly your impressions in our chat while I will continue my workshop. So I hope you find out some common interests as Adam and Christian did. And we have also not online, happily, now we have other places for networking. We have local events, for example, expats events in your country or just events in libraries, parties. We have conferences and exhibitions, business events. In transport, you also can meet some people. Maybe you heard some famous stories about founder and investor met each other in the airplane in business class. Libraries, social media groups, different groups in Facebook and in LinkedIn as well for networking. Different parties, cultural and sports events. And anywhere, in every place you can introduce yourself where it will be convenient. The most important is to know who are with you, who is your partner, who you're speaking with right now. So the place is actually not so important. And remember about my mistake, don't repeat it, please. If you are going to the party when the main purpose of people is to relax, don't start right now, right from the first dot you have. I'm a public speaking trainer, I'm a doctor, I'm a technician, etc., etc. So start with common questions, as I hope you did today in our breakout rooms. And also, we have special way of thinking here. As I promised in the description of our workshop, I would call it way of thinking, but actually it's about the same idea. Needs of your audiences. Go first. Find out the person's interest and only afterwards tell about your services. So if someone tells you, like, sell me this pen, so you know this person is going to buy the pen, that's his or her needs. So then sell the pen to her. Maybe it's not about selling anything. You can just connect this person with someone you know might be useful for him. Lately, I was watching one TED Talk about networking, and there was an interesting phrase. I'm sure that everyone in this room right now knows someone who should be connected with one of us. So I'm sure that if any one of you needs, I don't know, for example, good cosmetologist in Denmark, I know how to help you. Or if you are looking for storytelling in the London, I know who can help you, as I'm working in the storytelling academy, excuse me, by the way, etc., etc. And maybe if I will start to look into, I don't know, how to find a good way, a good shop in USA to buy some Apple goods, for example, I would rather ask some of you, because we have guests from USA today. For example, so think about, not about yourself, but about other person's needs. And life is unexpected. Maybe you just help with one connection today. And in 1 year, this person will come back to you with another connection, which will be extremely useful for you, which will give you a job or will give you a partner for life or something else very interesting for you. And additional, but still important, as I said, follow Facebook groups and support people with questions and answers. That's actually how I met, how I established my contacts and which organize live videos for me. Update your profiles in Instagram and LinkedIn. I know that could be annoying sometimes, but if you have almost that account, maybe someone useful just would not be able to connect with you. So just have these accounts alive, maybe 1 or 2 per month, 1 or 2 times per month. It would be enough. If you have your company page in all social medias, that also would be great, because different people use different social medias. And of course, share your business cards, share your contacts. And I would like you to share your own contacts in the chat right now. Anything you prefer, WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, or Instagram even. And you can see my contacts here. And I have a red signal from our timekeeper. Thank you, Adam. So thank you for this workshop. I will stop share my slide in 1 minute. I will just copy all this information for you, and I would like to encourage you to share your information, Facebook, LinkedIn, anything you want to share, so I could add you and you can add me, and we can continue our networking journey. Thank you, and the stage is yours, Toastmaster of the evening.
All right, thank you, Irina.
Thank you for the invitation.
I think that was quite a good reminder for me. It's been a few years since I've updated my LinkedIn profile, definitely before, I think it was from before I started my job, my current job, which was over like 5 years ago. So I think that's definitely a good wake-up call for me. All right, so now comes the next section of our meeting where we get to welcome our guests. And to do this, we'll have our Sergeant at Arms, come to the stage.